White people who have deconstructed your racism, how did you realize? Like, what was your step?
Well, I was never racist to begin with. My dad was, though. My biological dad. I also grew up in a black community, so I was taught by the black community that it's not the first thought that you have, right? Because to say that you don't see color is to say that you're colorblind, right? And that's just not true, unless you are colorblind, in which case you just see white and black and gray, shades of gray. But my point is that I grew up in a very mixed minority community. In fact, I was the minority, which was interesting. And I had to ask a black woman why her son, who invited me to his birthday party, why her son bullied me. And she said that it was because of the difference of our skin. And I was the first white person he had ever seen. And she said that it was also the same for black people and Hispanic people and Asian people. And he had never seen anybody like me, so he thought that I was weird. And she was like, sometimes when you grow up, it becomes much, much more hateful. And the best thing you can do is love that person anyways. And people will deal with grief in their own way. People will deal with anger in their own way. But you should just love that people. She said a good person will be able to see words of criticism and evolve from them. But if I was mad, that instead of taking it out on him, because it wouldn't fix anything, she said I should hit her. And being the angry little boy that I was and the abusive alcoholic family that I was in, with my dad and my bitch of a sister, I was going to say the C word, but I decided against it. It really was about to come from the soul. But my bitch of a sister, yeah. And so I just started swinging, and she held out her hands, and then I started bawling my eyes out, and she was like, it's okay to be mad. It's all about how you deal with the anger. And then I grew up, and I didn't see her anymore. So I kind of forgot that lesson, but a lot of women basically led me through my life, and they said that you have to allow the anger to consume you before you ever understand how to harness it, which was really enlightening. And then I ended up in the foster system, and I had a black family where the woman basically used me as a paycheck, despite the fact that her kids were fucking phenomenal. And I said the N-word a lot, just because I didn't really know. I thought it was like a nickname. And they allowed me to say it because we were family. And then I went to school and I said the N-word and to one of my friends, and he just about beat the brakes off me. And he was like, why would you call me that? And I was like, I didn't know that was a bad thing. And he was like, I think you're a racist, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, what does it mean? And so then I looked it up, and we talked about it, and he learned that I had a black foster family. And he was like, it's one thing for a black person or a black family to give you the pass. That's when I learned what the pass was. The pass. It is another thing for society as a whole to give you the pass. And he was like, there's very few people who have the societal pass. And that's usually because they're either cultural icons or, super famous. And, so then I ended up in a foster home with a very, very gay, rotund black man. And that's the man I consider my father. Even though I'm homeless now, he does everything he can to support me. And if I need something, he'll offer it. and I use his house as my address. So all of my important mails gets mailed there. So how did I not be racist? I grew up black, I guess. Fuck if I know. It was very obvious what racism was to me to a certain extent, right? Like hating on somebody for the color of their skin. Like I didn't understand why my dad would see somebody like Whoopi Goldberg on the screen and would hate her, but it was kind of just like I understood that it was directed strictly at her while she was on screen, even if we were watching like one of her fucking movies or whatever. Anyways, so yeah, assuming everybody is racist just because of the color of their skin is in fact racism. So don't do that, because you don't know people's life story, right? I practically was raised by minorities. I don't say mom, I say mum, because part of my life for almost an entire year I lived with an English family, and it just felt more natural. I picked up a lot of cultural influence from a lot of people, and yeah, I don't know. No hate, like it doesn't bother me. Like when somebody's like, "You're a racist," I'm just like, okay. Like it really doesn't affect me, because I mean, at the end of the day, who are you to judge me? You know what I mean? Like if I say something racist and somebody I trust is like, "Whoa, that was like seriously out of line," I'd be like, "What? No, hold on. Let's talk about it." You know what I mean? Because I don't want you to think that I'm trying to be racist. But yeah, I had a girl, a friend of mine, ex-friend of mine, I guess. She got mad at me because I said peanut gallery, and she said, "That's racist." And I said, "No, that's not." And then she went on to berate me about how I was stupid, and I thought that I was smarter than her because I was white, and she basically blew up on me, and I was like, okay, like I don't, what do you want me to say? You want me to argue with you? Because I mean, you said that I was racist, which means that you think that I'm a racist. So I'm gonna argue with you. No, I'm not a racist. Like I don't care enough. You know what I mean? Like you don't deserve that much energy from me. For reference, the entire conversation spawned because the night before, I picked a character in a game before her in League of Legends on the phone. She was really mad about that, and I guess carried that with her into the next day. Anyway, so we're not friends anymore because I picked her character. Super, super fucking funny, though. It gets me every time I think about it. Sad that I lost her as a friend because of her own, you know, obstinate nature, but I don't know. She seems happy, and so that's really all I care about, even if we're not friends anymore. So yeah, I don't know. Message of the day: don't assume everybody's racist, because the people that want to help you might very well not be your own kinfolk, your skin folk. You never know. You know what I mean?